Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Basically this video is just the finale to the sakuatsu Prince AU. Finally, it's here. This video is so long. I did not realize it was this long when I was writing it, but yeah, it is my longest video ever. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope I did this ship justice. Yeah. If you want to see any specific ships or like have any ideas for videos, please leave them in the comments. I think my next video is either going to be another part to the milkioi college AU, because I'm trying to finish these series that I have had going on for way too long. So I'm going to try to finish them, and then I think I'm going to do another Boka Aka video because I only have one, and yeah, I need more. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.
January 17th, 2:13 p.m., Miya Palace. So, the thing about the kisses, Atsumu absolutely cannot stop thinking about it. He's tried Sakusa and Komori and their bodyguards were long gone by the time Atsumu made it inside. Not even a drunken stupor or the next morning's pounding hangover can scrub the image from his brain. He tries listening in on his mom's meetings, but they don't hold his attention. He tries tracking every piece of legislation going through their government. Not even starting a rumor with Suna sounds enticing. He starts his last semester of university, goes to class, sits with the social secretary to plan his graduation dinner, buries himself in highlighted annotations and readings. But beneath it all, there's Prince Kiyoomi kissing him under a linden tree in the garden, moonlight in his hair, and Atsumu's insides feel positively molten, and he wants to throw himself down the palace stairs. He hasn't told anyone, not even Suna or Osamu. He has no idea what he would say even if he did. Is he even allowed to say anything since he signed an NDA? Was this why he had to sign it? Is this something Kiyoomi always had in mind? Does that mean Kiyoomi has feelings for him? Why would Kiyoomi have acted like a tedious prick for so long if he liked him? Kiyoomi's not offering any insights, or anything at all. He hasn't answered a single one of Atsumu's texts or calls. Okay, that's it. Osamu says as he storms out of his room to the sitting room where Atsumu is. I've been trying to get work done for 2 hours, but I can't get a single thing done with ya passing out here. He throws a baseball cap at Atsumu. I'm going for a run and you're coming with. One of their bodyguards accompanies them to the park downtown, where Osamu kicks him in the back of the knee to get him going. He feels like a dog that has to be taken on walks to get its energy out, especially when Osamu says, "You're like a dog that has to be taken on walks to get its energy out. I hate ya sometimes." And he shoves his earbuds in his ears and turns up his music. He thinks, as he runs and runs and runs, that the stupidest part of all is that he's straight. Like, he's pretty sure he's straight. He can pinpoint times in his life when he thought to himself, see, this means I can't possibly be into guys, like when he was in middle school and he kissed a girl for the first time, and he didn't think about a guy when it was happening. Just that her hair was soft and it felt nice. Or when he was a sophomore in high school and one of his friends came out as gay, and he couldn't imagine ever doing something like that. Or his senior year, when he got drunk and made out with Kita in his twin bed for an hour, and he didn't have a sexual crisis about it. That had to mean he was straight, right? Because if he was into guys, it would have felt scary to be with one. But it wasn't. That was just how horny teenage best friends were sometimes. Like when they would get off at the same time watching porn in Kita's bedroom, or that one time Kita reached over, and Atsumu didn't stop him. He glances over at Osamu, at the suspicious quirk of his lips. Can he hear what he's thinking? Does he know, somehow? Osamu always knows things. He doubles his pace, if only to get Osamu's expression out of his periphery. On their fifth lap around the park, he thinks back to his hormonal teens and remembers thinking about girls in the shower, but he also remembers fantasizing about a boy's hands on him. About hard jawlines and broad shoulders. He remembers pulling his eyes off a teammate in the locker room a few times, but that was, like, an objective thing. How was he supposed to know back then if he wanted to look like other guys or wanted other guys? Or if his teenage horny urges even meant anything? They're rounding their 8th lap now, and Atsumu is starting to see the flaws in his logic. Straight people, he thinks, probably don't spend this much time convincing themselves they're straight. There's another reason he never cared to examine things beyond the basic benchmark of being attracted to women. He's been in the public eye since his conception. He's the golden boy, the heartthrob, the handsome rogue with a heart of gold, the guy who moves through life effortlessly, who makes everyone laugh. Being whatever he's starting to suspect he might be, is definitely not universally appealing. He wants his mom to keep up his approval ratings without having to manage a compilation from her own family. He also wants to be the youngest government official in history, and he's absolutely sure that a guy who kissed a prince from another country, and liked it, won't be elected. But he thinks about Kiyoomi, and he thinks about Kiyoomi, and something twists in his chest, like a stretch he's been avoiding for too long. He thinks about Kiyoomi's voice over the phone at 3 in the morning, and suddenly he has a name for what ignites in the pit of his stomach: Kiyoomi's hands on him. His thumbs braced against his temples back in the garden. Kiyoomi's hands other places, Omi's mouth. What he might do with it if Atsumu let him. Kiyoomi's broad shoulders and long legs and narrow waist. The place his jaw meets his neck and the place his neck meets his shoulder, and the tendon that stretches the length between them, and the way it looks when Kiyoomi turns his head to shoot him a challenging glare, and his impossibly dark eyes. He trips on a crack in the pavement and he goes tumbling down, skinning his knee and ripping out his earbuds. Dude, what the hell? Osamu's voice cuts through the ringing in his ears. He's standing over him, hands on his knees, brow furrowed and panting. Your brain could not be more clearly in another solar system. Are you gonna tell me or what? He takes Osamu's hand and lets him pull him up. It's fine, I'm fine. He sighs, shooting him another look before dropping it. After Atsumu has successfully limped back home, Osamu disappears to shower and Atsumu goes back to his room. He needs to organize his thoughts, so he makes a list. Things he knows right now. 1. He's attracted to Kiyoomi. 2. He wants to kiss Omi again. 3. Has maybe wanted to kiss him for a while now, as in, maybe this whole time. He drags himself over to his desk and types one simple keyword into his search bar: bisexual. January 21st, 3:12 p.m., Miya Palace. Atsumu can't wait to get home from class, and as soon as he does he books it upstairs and throws his bag at the door of his bedroom, kicking off his shoes and letting them bounce on the ugly antique carpet. Well, good afternoon to ya too, Osamu says from his place on the couch in the sitting room between their bedrooms. Ya look like shit. Thanks, asshole. New tabloid for ya, he says as he chucks that magazine at his head. You're on page 15. Oh, and your new BFF is on page 31. Atsumu casually extends Osamu the finger as he retreats back to his room, slumping down in the couch next to the door. Since he has it, he might as well. He flips to page 31 and he almost swears out loud. The headline, Who is Prince Kiyoomi's mystery blonde? 3 photos. The first, Kiyoomi out at a cafe, smiling over coffees at some anonymously pretty blonde women. The second, Kiyoomi, slightly out of focus, holding her hand as they ducked behind the cafe. The third, Kiyoomi obscured by a shrub, kissing the corner of her mouth. What the fuck? There's a short article that gives the girl's name, an actress, and Atsumu was generally pissed before, but now he's very singularly pissed. His entire shitty mood funneled right down to the point on the page where Kiyoomi's lips touch someone's skin that isn't his. Who the fuck does Kiyoomi think he is? How entitled, how aloof, how selfish do you have to be, to spend months becoming someone's friend? Let them show you all their weird gross weak parts, kiss them, make them question everything, ignore them for weeks, and go out with someone else and put it in the press? He throws the magazine down and lunges to his feet, pacing. Fuck Kiyoomi, he should have never trusted him, he should have listened to his gut. He inhales, exhales. The thing is he doesn't know if, beyond the initial rush of anger, he actually believes Kiyoomi would do this if he takes the Kiyoomi he saw in the magazine when he was 12, the Kiyoomi who was so cold to him at the Olympics, the Kiyoomi who slowly came unraveled to him over months, and the Kiyoomi that kissed him in the shadow of the palace, and he adds them up. He doesn't get this. He thinks about Kiyoomi's guardedness, the way he carries himself with a careful separation from the world around him, the tension at the corner of his mouth. Then he thinks, if there was a prince, and he was gay, and he kissed someone, and maybe it mattered, that prince might have to run a bit of interference. And in one great swing, Atsumu is not just angry anymore, he's sad too. Faintly under it all, it occurs to him, this is all a very not straight way to react to seeing your male frenemy kissing someone else in a magazine. A little laugh startles out of him and he thinks of calling Suna and asking about how he knew he was gay, or going downstairs and asking one of the guards, Mika, about her wife and how she knew she was different. But in the moment, it feels right to go back to the source, to ask someone who's seen whatever is in his eyes when a boy touches him. Kiyoomi is out of the question, which leaves one person. Hello? The voice says on the other line. They haven't talked in at least a year, but Kita's country drawl is as warm as ever in Atsumu's ear. Hey, Kita, it's Atsumu. I know. How have you been? You want to tell me why you're really calling Atsumu? Oh. This might sound weird, but, back in high school, did we have, like, a thing? Did I miss that? There's a clattering sound on the other side of the phone, a fork being dropped on a plate. Are you seriously calling me right now to talk about this? I'm at lunch with my boyfriend. Oh. He didn't know Kita had a boyfriend. Sorry. The sound goes muffled, and when Kita talks again it's to someone else. It's Atsumu. Yeah, him. I don't know, babe. His voice comes back clear again. What exactly are you asking me? I mean, like, we messed around, but did it, like, mean something? I don't think I can answer that question for you. Right, you're right. Look, I don't know what kind of sexual crisis you're having right now, like, 4 years after it would have been useful, but well, I'm not saying what we did in high school makes you gay or bi or whatever, but I can tell you I'm gay. And that even though I acted like what we were doing wasn't gay back then, it super was. Does that help, Atsumu? Yeah, I think so, thanks. You're welcome. Kita sounds so long-suffering and tired that Atsumu thinks about all those times back in high school, the way Kita used to look at him, the silence between them since, and feels obligated to add. And, I'm sorry? Jesus Christ. Kita groans and hangs up. January 29th, 5:32 p.m. Kiyoomi can't avoid him forever. There's one part of the post-royal wedding arrangement left to fulfill Kiyoomi's presence at a state dinner at the end of January. Kiyoomi's country has a relatively new prime minister and Atsumu's mother wants to meet him. Kiyoomi's coming too, and staying in the palace as a courtesy. Atsumu smooths the lapels on his tux and hovers next to Osamu and Suna as the guests roll, and he's aware that he's rocking anxiously on his heels, but he can't seem to stop. Suna smirks but says nothing. He's keeping quiet. He's still not ready to tell Osamu telling his brother is irreversible, and he can't do that until he knows what this is. Kiyoomi enters stage right. His suit is black, smooth, elegant, perfect. Atsumu wants to rip it off. His face is reserved, then downright ashen when he sees Atsumu in the entrance hall. His footsteps stutter, as if he's thinking of an escape route. Atsumu is not above a flying tackle. Instead, he keeps walking up the steps. "All right, photos." Zelen whispers over Atsumu's shoulder. "Oh, hey." Atsumu says under his breath. Fake smile, handshake, cameras flashing. "Nice to see you're not dead or anything." Kiyoomi says, adding to the list of vowel sounds he has to show for himself. It is, unfortunately, also sexy after all these weeks. "The bar is low. We need to talk," Atsumu says before Zelen is pushing all four of them into a friendly formation, and there are more photos until Atsumu's be shepherded off to the dining room and Kiyoomi is hauled into more photo ops. Kiyoomi is seated with the Prime Minister, and Atsumu sits and chews his food like it's personally wronged him and watches Kiyoomi from across the room. Seething every so often, Kiyoomi will look up, catch Atsumu's eye, go pink around the ears, and return to his rice pilaf as if it's the most fascinating dish on the planet. How dare Omi come into Atsumu's house looking like the goddamn James Bond offspring that he is, drink red wine with the Prime Minister, and act like he didn't slit Atsumu the tongue and ghost him for a month. "Suna," he says, leaning over to him while Osamu is off mingling. "Can you get Kiyoomi away from his table?" He slants a look at him. Is this a diabolical scheme of seduction? If so, yes. Sure, yes, that. He gets up and heads for the back wall of the room, where the bodyguards are stationed. "Mika," he hisses, grabbing her by the wrist. She makes a quick aborted movement, clearly fighting a hardwired takedown reflex. "I need your help." "Where's the threat?" No, Jesus. Not like that. I need to get Prince Kiyoomi alone. I don't follow. I need to talk to him in private. I can accompany you outside if you need to speak with him, but he'll have to get it approved by his security first. No. Atsumu scrubs a hand across his face, glancing back over his shoulder to where he left Kiyoomi, being aggressively talked at by Suna. I need him alone. The slightest of expressions crossed her face. The best I can do is the sitting room. You take it further and it's a no-go. How long can I have? 5 minutes. I can make that work. He turns on his heel and stalks over to the ornamental display of chocolates, where Suna has now lured Kiyoomi. He plants himself between them. Hi. Suna smiles. Kiyoomi's mouth drops open. Sorry to interrupt important international relations stuff. And he seizes Kiyoomi by the elbow and yanks him boldly away. Do you mind? Kiyoomi has the nerve to say. Shut your face. Atsumu says, briskly leading him away from the tables, where people are too busy mingling to notice Atsumu stealing away an heir to the throne. They reach the doors. Mika is there, hand on the knob. You're not going to kill him, are you? Probably not. She opens the room just enough for them to slip in, and Atsumu hauls Kiyoomi into the room with him. What on God's earth are you doing? Shut up, shut all the way up, oh my God. Atsumu hisses, and if he weren't already hell-bent on destroying Kiyoomi's infuriating idiot face with his mouth right now, he might consider doing it with his fist. He focused on the burst of adrenaline carrying his feet over the antique rug Kiyoomi's tie wrapped around his fist, the flash in Kiyoomi's eyes. He reaches the nearest wall, shoves Omi against it, and crushes their mouths together. Kiyoomi's too shocked to respond, mouth falling open slackly in a way that's more surprise than invitation, and for a horrified moment Atsumu thinks he calculated all wrong, but then Kiyoomi's kissing him back, and it's everything. It feels as good better than, he remembered, and he can't recall why they haven't been doing this the whole time, why they've been running circles around each other for so long without doing anything about it. Wait. Kiyoomi says, breaking it off. He pulls back to look at Atsumu, wild-eyed, mouth vivid red, and Atsumu could fucking scream if he weren't worried people in the next room might hear him. Should we? What? I mean, should we slow down? Go for dinner first or? Atsumu is actually going to kill him. We just had dinner. Right, I just thought. Stop thinking. Yes, gladly. In one frantic motion, Atsumu knocks the candelabra off the noble next to them and pushes Omi onto it so he's sitting with his back against the wall. Omi's legs fall apart and Atsumu crowds up between them, wrenching Kiyoomi's head back into another searing kiss. They're really moving now, wrecking each other's suits. Kiyoomi's lip caught between Atsumu's teeth, the portrait on the wall behind them rattling against the wall when Omi's head falls back and bangs into it. Atsumu is at his throat and he's somewhere between angry and giddy, caught up in the space between years of sworn hate and something else he's begun to suspect has always been there. It's white hot, and he feels crazy with it, lit up from the inside. Kiyoomi gives as good as he gets, hooking one knee around the back of Atsumu's thigh for leverage. Delicate royal sensibility ties nowhere in the cut of his teeth. Atsumu has been learning for a while now that Kiyoomi isn't what he thought, but it's something else to feel this close up, the quiet burn in him, the pent-up person under the perfect veneer who tries and pushes and wants. He drops his hand onto Kiyoomi's thigh, feeling the electrical pulse there, the smooth fabric over hard muscle. He pushes up, and Kiyoomi's hand slams down over his, digging his nails in. Time's up. Mika yells through a crack in the door. They freeze. Atsumu falling back on his heels. They can both hear it now, bodies coming too close for comfort, wrapping up the night. Kiyoomi's hips give one tiny push up into him, involuntary, surprised, and Atsumu swears, "I'm going to die. I'm going to kill you." "Yes, you are." Atsumu takes an unsteady step backwards. "People are going to be coming in here soon." He reaches down, trying not to fall on him face as he scoops up the candelabra and puts it back on the table. Kiyoomi is standing now, looking wobbly, his shirt untucked and his hair a mess. Atsumu reaches up, trying to calm the messy curls. "Fuck you, look, fuck." Kiyoomi fumbles with the tail of his shirt, eyes wide, and starts humming under hip's breath. "What are you doing? Goddamn it, I'm trying to make it go away." He gestures inelegantly at the front of his pants. Atsumu very pointedly does not look down. "Okay, so yeah, here's what we're going to do. You're going to go be like 500 feet away from me for the rest of the night, or else I'm going to do something that I will deeply regret in front of a lot of important people. All right?" And then? He grabs Kiyoomi by the tie again, close to the knot, and draws his mouth a breath away from Kiyoomi's. He hears Omi swallow. He wants to follow the sound down his throat. And then you are going to come to the east bedroom on the second floor at 11 o'clock tonight, and I am going to do very bad things to you, and if you fucking ghost me again, I'm going to get you put on a no-fly list, got it? Kiyoomi bites down on a sound that tried to escape his mouth, and rasps perfectly. January 29th, 10:48 p.m. Atsumu is well. Atsumu is probably losing his mind. He threw his jacket and tie over the back of the chair as soon as he returned to his room, and he's got the first two buttons of his shirt undone. His hands are twisted up in his hair. This is fine, it's fine. It's definitely a terrible idea, but it's fine. He's trying not to think too hard about what comes next. He may not have experience in practical application, but he's done research. He has diagrams. He can do this. He really wants to do this, that much he's sure about. He closes his eyes, grounds himself. His mind flashes to Kiyoomi, the smooth lines of his suit, the way his breath brushed Atsumu's cheek when he kissed him. His stomach does some embarrassing acrobatics he plans to never tell anyone about, ever. Kiyoomi, the prince Kiyoomi, the boy in the garden Kiyoomi, the boy in his bed. God, how was he so stupid to believe that he didn't have feeling for the guy? There's a knock on the door. 10:54 p.m. He opens the door. Atsumu stands there and exhales slowly, eyes on Kiyoomi. He's not sure he's ever let himself just look. Kiyoomi is tall and gorgeous, half royalty, half movie star, red wine lingering on his lips. He'd left his jacket and tie behind, and the sleeves of his shirt are pushed up to his elbows. He looks nervous around the corners of his eyes, but he smiles at Atsumu with one side of his pink mouth. Sorry I'm early. Atsumu bites his lip. Find your way here, okay? There was a very helpful bodyguard, I think her name was Mika? Atsumu smiles fully. Get in here. Kiyoomi's grin takes over his entire face, not his photographed grin, but one that's crinkly and unguarded and infectious. Kiyoomi's breath ghosts over Atsumu's lips, their noses brushing, and when he finally connects, he's smiling into it. There's something different about the way Kiyoomi is kissing now. It's measured and deliberate. Soft. Atsumu isn't sure why or what to do with it. He kisses back but lets himself be kissed however Kiyoomi wants to kiss him, which right now is exactly how he would imagine Prince Charming to kiss in the first place, sweet and deep. Kiyoomi breaks it off. How do you want to do this? He grabs Kiyoomi's collar and pushes a little. Get on the couch. Kiyoomi's breath hitches as he complies. Atsumu moves to stand over him, looking down at that soft pink mouth. Kiyoomi looks back up at him, expectant, hungry. You've been dodging me for weeks. Atsumu says, widening his stance so his knees bracket Kiyoomi's. He leans down and braces one hand against the back of the couch, the other grazing over the vulnerable dip of Kiyoomi's throat. You went out with a girl. I'm gay. Kiyoomi tells him flatly. One of his broad palms flattens over Atsumu's hip, and Atsumu inhales sharply, either at the tuff or at finally hearing Kiyoomi say it out loud. Not something wise to pursue as a member of the royal family. And I wasn't sure you weren't going to murder me for kissing you. Then why'd you do it? He leans into Kiyoomi's neck, dragging his lips over the sensitive skin just behind his ear. Because I hoped you wouldn't murder me. I had suspicions that you might want me to. He hisses a little when Atsumu bites down lightly on the side of his neck. Or I thought. Until I saw you with Suna, and then I was jealous. and I was drunk and an idiot who got sick of waiting for the answer to present itself. You were jealous. You want me. Kiyoomi moves abruptly, leaving Atsumu off balance with both hands and down onto his lap, eyes blazing, and he says in a low and deadly voice Atsumu has never heard him use before. Yes, you preening ass, I've wanted you long enough that I won't have you tease me for another fucking second. Turns out being on the receiving end of Kiyoomi's royal authority is an extreme turn-on, he thinks, as he's hauled into a bruising kiss, that he'll never forgive himself for it, so like, fuck it. Kiyoomi gets a grip on Atsumu's hips and pulls him close, so Atsumu is properly straddling his lap, and he kisses hard now, more like he had in the sitting room. With teeth it shouldn't work so perfectly, it makes absolutely no sense, but it does. There's something about the two of them, the way they ignite at different temperatures, Atsumu's frantic energy and Kiyoomi's aching sureness. He kisses Kiyoomi until it feels like he can't breathe, until it feels like he's going to forget both of their names and titles, until they're only two people tangled up in a dark room making a brilliant, epic, unstoppable mistake. Hang on. Atsumu is already groaning in protest, but Kiyoomi pulls back and rests his fingertips on Atsumu's lips to shush him. I want. His voice starts and stops, and he's looking like he's resolving not to cringe at himself again. He gathers himself, stroking a finger up to Atsumu's cheek before jutting his chin out defiantly. I want you on the bed. Atsumu goes fully silent and still, looking into Kiyoomi's eyes, and the question there, are you going to stop this now that it's real? Well, come on, Your Highness. Atsumu shifts his weight to give Kiyoomi a last tease before he stands. You're a dick, Kiyoomi says, but follows, smiling. "12:25 a.m. Kiyoomi falls to Atsumu's side, both of them exhausted from activities. Atsumu turns his head to look at Kiyoomi's profile on the pillow next to him. He thinks that he could lay here for the rest of eternity memorizing the lines of Omi's face, the gorgeous dark curls and hard jawline, perfect pink lips. Suddenly Kiyoomi's head turns to face him and he's smiling, the beautiful, infectious smile that Atsumu could get addicted to. Kiyoomi inches closer to Atsumu so that he can gently swipe his thumb across his cheek. You know, I've been fantasizing about doing that with you since I was 13. That adds to the tight fluttering feeling that is happening in the pit of Atsumu's stomach. He thinks back to the magazine he had when he was 12, the one he kept hidden in the bottom drawer of his nightstand. The one he spent hours tracing the lines of Kiyoomi's face, and it's funny how he's doing the same thing now. Just he's actually here. I think I've been wanted to do that for a while too. There's a sort of light that glints in Kiyoomi's eyes, and Atsumu thinks that probably it's reflected back in his eyes too. So do you think I could take you out on an actual date now? Atsumu turns over onto his back and hums. I don't know if I really feel that way about you. Kiyoomi's face drops and he looks like he's seen a ghost. Oh God. No. It was a joke, Omi. Please don't freak out. The next thing Atsumu knows, there's a pillow hitting his face. Oh, you've really started it now. He grabs the pillow from under his head and hurls it at Kiyoomi across the bed. He catches it before it can make contact and sets it down next to him. As much as I would love to have a pillow fight right now, I would prefer an answer to my question, or else I might positively combust. Oh my God. Atsumu groans, cuddling closer to Kiyoomi and wrapping his arms around him while looking up into those dark eyes that make him melt. I like you. I have feelings for you, and I want to go out with you. So, yes, Of course you can take me out on a real date. Kiyoomi's face perks up at that, dread washing away, replaced with relief and pure happiness. Thank God. I have feelings for you too. All this time you were actually just a big softie. Kiyoomi looks away to the corner of the room, not making eye contact. Well, maybe for you that is. Atsumu lets out a giggle, letting his head settle into Kiyoomi's chest. So about that free food. There's a few seconds of silence and then Atsumu is hit by the aforementioned pillow and the room dissolves into laughter and something soft and warm that Atsumu never wants to walk away from. Fin.
Hi everybody, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, just leave comments if you want to see any specific things in new videos. I'm going to try to post every Thursday at noon. The time might change, but I'm going to try to keep Thursday as my regular upload day. So yeah, please comment. It makes my day to see people commenting. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.